having a fast fading technique that smashes every single fade in less than 6 minutes. Feel like a stretch? I felt the same until I found the one-line fast fading technique. Since I used this technique, my fading game went to another level. I completely lost the insecurity of not impressing the client, and I gained an incredible control and speed that helped me reduce the entire haircut process up to 20 minutes. Before I go further, let me introduce myself. If you don't know who I am, my name is Cosmin. I have 13-year experience in the barbering field. I have done more than 12,000 haircuts, and I was featured many times on the biggest barbering Instagram pages. I started my trainer career 6 years ago, and I have trained hundreds of barbers, beginners and advanced, guiding them to evolve their career. Right now, I own 4 barbershops. The one that I'm filming right now was voted as one of the top 10 most attractive barbershops in the world. You can see here the chairs are from Takara Belmont, and just one chair costs over $7,000. I don't tell you all this to show you how great I am and other bullshit like this, but I show you my results to validate what I'm about to show you in the next few minutes, because guess what? I have been in the same position you are probably in. Be as fast as possible, but in the same have too much to clean. In the same position you are probably in. It was a time when I had no clients, I wasn't happy at all how my fade looked, and I really struggled to evolve. My career wasn't always beautiful like it's now, and one of the most important techniques I ever learned that helped me create stunning fades in record time and drastically improve my career is one-line technique, which I'm gonna share it with you today. Okay, the fade is the most visible part of a haircut. Many clients rate a haircut based on the quality of the fade. In other words, weak fading skills can make you lose clients and your reputation. Instead, mastering the fading part will help impress the clients, increase the efficiency of your services, and ultimately make you more money. That's why in this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how you can execute a great quality skin fade in less than 6 minutes. I wanna mention that there is not just one perfect way to getting a great fade, and what I show you today is something that helped me a lot and drastically improved my work. That's why I want to share it with you, hoping you will get something valuable from it. Before moving forward, let's see what's the definition of a skin fade from the visual perspective. To simplify the definition, we can say that a skin fade is the perfect blend between the 3 main shades: light, gray, and dark shade. So, to create a sharp looking fade, we need to have covered the full range of numbers from 000, which represent the lightest shade, to the number 2 or 2.5, which represents the darkest shade. Between the light and dark shades, we have the middle area, which represents the gray shade, where all those numbers that are between 000 and 2 must be blended together in order to obtain a great transition. Okay, when we talk about skin fades, there are 3 most important aspects that we need to pay attention on: the density level, the shape, and the lifting level. First aspect is the density level, and it defines the aggressivity level of the fades. We have 2 levels of density. First, compressed fade, where the distance between the light and dark shade is very compressed. This thing gives an aggressive aspect to the fade. And second, we have the extended fade, where the distance between the light and dark shade is bigger, a thing that gives a lighter and more natural aspect for the fade. Okay, the second aspect we need to pay attention on is the shape. The shape relates to how we want the fade to look like at the end. We have flat shape, which has, as the name is, a flat format. This shape is used mostly for high fades. Next, we have a curved shape, which gives a slightly arched format to the fade. This shape is used mostly for mid fades. And the last, we have drop shape, or drop fade as you may heard before, which builds a strong arch format for the fade. This shape is used mostly for mid and low fade. There is another shape that builds the burst fade, which is completely round, but this is a fade that it's only used for the mohawk hairstyle. In my opinion, is not a main type of shape, but more a creative one. Third aspect, the lifting level, is simple and relates to how much we lift the fade from the baseline. As you already know it, we have 3 levels: low fade, medium fade, and high fade. Okay, these 3 aspects combined gives us different type of skin fades. They can be combined as you wish based on the haircut you need to create. For example, you can have a compressed curved medium fade, same as you can have an extended curved medium fade, which, by the way, this is what I'm about to execute next. Okay, as you can see, on the right side of the screen, you can find a timer which will be on when I will execute the technique and off when I explain, so we can see exactly how long the technique takes. Let's start. So how does the one-line technique work? As the name says, this technique implies only one guideline, thing that makes the entire work extremely fast and at the same time very controllable. As we already know, most fades are built by blending the full range of numbers between 000 and 2. Now, to reduce the time and get maximum speed, you need to eliminate as many numbers as possible by using the movement techniques instead of changing all the quads. Okay, to have a better flow through the numbers range, it's recommended to work with two clippers. One with fade blades at zero gap, and the second with taper blades without zero gap. In short, you need an aggressive clipper for sharp details and precision cut, and a soft clipper for connection and smooth blending. First thing I always do before I start the fading process is to prepare the areas and make them even all over the head. I do this using number 2 and 2.5 taper blades. I start cleaning the areas and connect them with the transition area. In my case, I don't have too much to clean because the hair is already short, but even like that, I'll still go over carefully to make sure I have an even length all over the head. Next, I will create the guideline. I do it the same with taper blades with no zero gap because I don't want to create an aggressive line that will be hard to blend after. Set the clipper to 0.25 and I start to create the line. To increase the precision, make sure you keep the clipper on an aggressive angle like this. As you can see here, I have a big distance between the scalp and blades. As much as you reduce this distance, you reduce the aggressivity of the clipper as well. This movement is also known as C motion, movement that we only use in the blending part of the fade. So for the guideline, we need precision. That's why I use the clipper with an aggressive angle. Don't worry, the line will still be smooth because we use a taper blade with no zero gap here. I'm moving to the back as well. I pay close attention to not go above the occipital bone to keep a nice proportion for the back area. I'm going for the other side. I pay attention to keep the symmetry between the sides. Okay, after I finish the guideline, I go immediately below with 0, but without touching the guideline. This is a very important step because it helps us prepare the area below the line for the trimmer, which will make the blending much easier. It's very important as well to not touch the guideline because you want to keep the length to 0.25. If you touch it with 0, then your line will be harder to blend. As you can see on the diagram, the clipper must exit on the red line. Here we're gonna use the clipper on a light angle so that we don't have too much pressure on the blades. Now at this point, we basically divided the fading area in two parts. One area above the guideline and the second area below. What we have to do next is to blend these areas as quickly as possible. I will start with the area below and first I will clean it with the trimmer. I will use the trimmer with C motion movement by having pressure only at the base and exit the trimmer when I touch the zone that I already cut it with 0. With the reverse movement, I quickly blend the beard, prepare it for the fade. I go all around the head. Same, keeping the C motion movement with pressure at the base and release the pressure when I meet the 0 area. I pay close attention behind the ears to not left some hairs there because this is very unprofessional. Quick trim for the beard as well. Next, I will use the shaver to obtain the 000, which is the smallest number. Same, I go all around the head, putting pressure only at the base, but not at the 00 area, paying attention to not touch the trimmer length. I'm moving all around the head. Again, paying attention behind the ears. Great, once we finish the area below the guideline, now we're gonna attack the area above. From the guideline, I will start with number 1, trying to blend straight on the number 2 area. The secret here is to move as fast as I can. Open the lever a bit to have a smooth transition. And I'm moving to the back area with same process. Now I use the second clipper with fade blades with 0 gap because I want to gain speed and precision to quickly finish this area. And on the other side, same, I try to move as fast as I can, but at the same time I make sure that I achieve the quality I want. Now the last part of the fading process is to completely blend the line. Here is where the magic happens. I bet you already see many times on Instagram video with barbers that blend this line in seconds. They were very viral. I'll explain how it works now. Because the guideline is 0.25 and I use taper blades with no 0 gap to make it, now it gives me the possibility to use 0.609 with fade blades and 0 gap to easily blend it out and reach the number 1 area in the same time, things that increase the control and reduce the risk to break the fade. You can see now how easy the line is blending. Here I use a shorter sieve movement and I move as fast as I can. Normally, if you use just one clipper with one type of blade, this line can only be blended with 0.5, and because of this, the cutting is much more aggressive. That way, it's very hard to blend the guideline and attack the number 1 area in the same time, but working with 2 clippers with fade and taper blades completely changed the game. I use the corner for details. I am pretty happy with the first side. I'm moving to the back area. The same short sieve movement. It's not necessary to be perfect because in the end I will come again in the detailing part. To the other side, same. Try to be as fast as possible, but at the same time to keep the quality. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now once the fading process is done, what I like to do is to take 1-2 more minutes to work on the details to maximum improve the sharpness. So for that I take a smaller number like 0 and 0.5, and with the corner of the blade I remove the darker spots or parts that look unfinished. Don't overcomplicate it here, this is just a quick finish to improve the fade. If you insist too much, there is a big chance to mess it up, so keep it simple. As you can see, I already did the shape up. On the back the same. Just with the corner, nice and easy. On the other side the same. Again, don't overcomplicate it, keep it quick and easy. This is the result, a pretty good fade in 6 minutes, but an important thing is to be aware that the duration of this technique can be different depending on the haircut you do. If you have a haircut like this one, for example, with a longer length on the transition area, it may take you another 5-6 minutes, but if you deal, for example, with a blonde hair, the fading process can be even faster than 6 minutes. This technique helped me create outstanding haircuts for thousands of clients, but what I just show you here today is just a fraction of what you need in order to really master the fading game. Now I have something really special for you, but before that, let me ask you a question. So over the past minutes, would you agree it's been time well spent so far? I hope so, because I don't want to waste your time. So if you feel that this training was something helpful for you, stay with me another 2 minutes because I want to show you how you can take full control over your fading skills. Are you with me? Great, let's break it down. The fade, no matter we talk about skin, drop, or taper fade is the most highlighted and visible part of a haircut. When a client leaves your shop and meets his friends, the first thing they will notice is the quality of the fade. If the fade is good, they tag you as a good barber. If the fade is bad, your tag will be average barber. That's why it's crucial to improve your fading skills. Mastering the fading game will help you create sharp-looking fades that impress anyone who sees them, increase the precision and speed of your execution, thing that will build your confidence in your ability to create any type of fades very fast. At the same time, having weak fading skills will force you to create low-quality haircuts, move around the head slow and confused, being insecure in your ability to execute a sharp fade. But the good news is that mastering your fading skills is not as hard as you may think. You only need to understand 5 principles in order to take full control over your fading skills and become a master of it. Guard succession, so you understand how numbers are created for a smooth transition. See motion and corner angle, so you maximize your movement range for sharp guides and details. Next, categories, where you discover the characteristic of the most used phase, so you 100% understand how to create them. Next, execution techniques, so you can easily execute the 3 main fades: skin fade, drop fade, and taper fade. And COC technique for a quick debulking and refined detail. I explain all these 5 principles one by one on the Fade Master online course, which, because you are already a member now, you can access it at this super special offer. So if you want to learn everything you need to improve your fading skills and take your barber career to the next level, click the button below.